in the latest that we are getting for you is definitely there has been a lot much being talked about the 2000 note not being getting ahead with the 30th September, and on that we have the exclusive conversation with the Finance Secretary TV Somanathan, and he had a conversation with the managing editor of ET Now and ET Now Swadesh, Mr. Nikunj Talmia. Let's hear them out.
It gives me great pleasure now to bring on board the Finance Secretary of India, Mr. Somanathan, to understand that what was really the reason behind the move by the government when they really want to discontinue with 2000 rupee note. Secretary Somanathan, good morning. Thank you for taking time out. It's been a hectic last 24 hours I'm sure, for everybody in the administration. But everyone is curious to understand, Secretary Somanathan, that what really has prompted the government to go ahead with this move?
Well, first of all, this is a move by the Reserve Bank, not by the government. And secondly, these are things which need to be done in normal times when there's normalcy in the economy. There is now normalcy in the economy. We are growing at a reasonable pace. Inflation is under control. So this is the time when necessary steps like this, where we can choose the timing, are to be taken. And this is a step which is useful because it reduces the use of these high denomination notes, which internationally are known to be prone to various problems. So these were necessary at a particular point of time, and they have had their use. We no longer need them for the functioning of the economy. They are hardly ever used in transactions, and we have a very strong increase in digital payments. So the transactional need for 2000 rupee notes no longer exists. So it's an appropriate time at which to make this move. It's being made in a very calibrated and careful way, no disruptions. It remains legal tender, and it will be available for use, and it can be exchanged up to 30th September.
Secretary Somanathan, but the total currency under circulation in the 2000 rupee denomination has dramatically come down, and it was coming down in a very linear manner. So was this move really required?
I think it's a necessary and desirable move because it accelerates the exit of the 2000 rupee notes, especially those that are in storage and not used for transactional purposes. And, these notes, because there's been no printing from 2018-19, their quality has been deteriorating. And therefore, it's a necessary and desirable step.
Secretary Somanathan, the deadline given here is September, and about 10% of the total currency under circulation is in this 2000 rupee note. If Reserve Bank of India and other banks are not able to reach that number of 7-8% by the time the December deadline is there, could the deadline be extended?
That's a matter for the Reserve Bank to decide at the appropriate time. I am not in a position to comment on it.
Secretary Somanathan, when demonetization happened, the 1000 rupee note was banned, the 2000 rupees note came into circulation. Could we be going back to another denomination of note, or it will only remain at 500?
To the best of my knowledge, it will only remain at 500.
Is there the whole purpose of demonetization? I'm taking the clock back, sir. Allow me to take the clock back. Was done to really kill the menace of black money in the system. Is there any evidence which government currently has that it also could have an impact on the black money in the system?
The demonetization did have a very positive effect on black money. It resulted in the discovery of a lot of information about non-tax paid monies, and the operation that was launched after that has been one of the causes of substantial growth in direct tax collections over the last few years. So it has been successful in its aim of reducing black money. In this particular case, what will its effect be is difficult to state in advance because it's a different kind of move. It remains legal tender and the exchange is permissible. However, I think any reduction in high denomination notes in any economy makes it less easy for illegal transactions and for black market transactions, black money transactions to happen. This is not an Indian phenomenon. This is a global phenomenon. Globally, high denomination notes like the €100 note or the $100 note are known to be prone to improper activities. So any reduction in the circulation of high denomination notes is desirable in the long run.
Can I also say that this is a firm endorsement which is in line with the Prime Minister's vision that the Indian economy is becoming much more digital, and now Indian economy, perhaps the currency and the circulation naturally will start coming down?
It's certainly a step in that direction, and as you can see, our payment systems are now very mature. Our digital payment systems are among the best in the world, and this is probably the only country where a vegetable seller or a vendor on the street accepts and makes electronic payments and is also able to access loans based on electronic receipts and payments. So the need for high denomination currency notes has declined drastically in the last few years, and that is definitely a success. And I would say it's also a success that has occurred partly because of demonetization. And this, therefore, is, yes, you're right. I mean, it does follow in the same direction.
When you say the government feels this is the right time to perhaps incorporate this move, can I request you to define what is right according to you?
What is right is a time when the economy is functioning normally with no abnormal events and no exogenous shocks, etc. So this is a very normal time. This is a good time to do it. It would not have been a good time to do it in COVID. It would not have been a good time to do it when the Ukraine war had broken out.
Secretary, I'm just going to take the liberty of extending my appointment by two more questions. And there is some more clarity which has come on TCS issue late evening in terms of how the limits on credit cards and debit cards have been extended to 7 lakh rupees. Was there a thought behind just coming at the number of 7 lakh rupees, and why 7 lakh rupees? Why not 5 lakh or why not 10 lakh?
The limit was, first of all, the 7 lakh rupees is the same limit as is available for education and for health. So the existing provisions on education and health, there was a threshold of 7 lakhs. Therefore, to unify the threshold, this has also been kept at 7 lakhs. It's just to have ease of understanding and administration rather than having a different threshold.
But from an individual standpoint, since this is TCS, and this can again be compensated with the final tax collection, at a time when government is trying to make the entire tax and income tax process very easy, and it has worked brilliantly in that direction, won't this be adding ultimately one more layer?
No, it won't. It will be this TCS will get adjusted as smoothly as any other TDS or TCS that's going on in the economy. If you're spending more than 7 lakhs through credit and debit cards, outside the education and health purposes, if you're up to 7 lakhs, there will be no TCS. Beyond 7 lakhs, the TCS will automatically appear in your Form 26AS, and it will then be available to you to reduce advance tax payments, to adjust your TDS payments, and to claim refunds as the case may be. And with the exclusion of the first 7 lakhs, this doesn't really affect anyone whose tax bracket is very low.
Sir, I'm surprised and also happy and delighted with the RBI dividend which was announced yesterday.
I'm not completely surprised. It is higher than last year, but of course it is, it is always beneficial if revenues increase. But I don't anticipate the aggregate government revenue to increase. I think budget estimates in aggregate for non-tax revenues will probably remain correct.
So I'm just going to again take the liberty of asking one final question. Things are really looking up on GST tax run, direct tax collection, RBI dividend. Looks like the year is going to be a year of full of good surprises for the government and for everybody.
I am not an astrologer, so I wouldn't predict anything. I hope you're right.
But mathematically, sir, it makes sense in way how things are moved.
Yes, so far it looks good, and I hope you are right.
Really appreciate the time, sir. Thank you so very much for joining us with your valuable input.